Right, I will wait for the green light and then we'll get going, guys.
Let's do
All
it.
right, all right, all right, all right, guys. Welcome to today's rendition of the DAC Friday Broker Update. Today is Friday, May 15th, halfway through the month of May, guys. It's a pleasure to be here with you. My name is McGuire Tate, part of the DAC corporate team. Here as a host for you guys every week with the daily huddles. So can't appreciate you guys enough for what you guys bring every day, every week to these calls. I got some exciting and important announcements, some reminders for you guys today, and then we'll move into a couple points with our founder, David Rutz. So I'm going to move right into it, guys, being that we do have a few updates and announcements. So first, being that what David just mentioned prior on the huddle call, going forward, Wade Cordell, our senior funding director, he's going to be hosting the Tuesday Huddles every week with some funding kills and funding thrills. Some really important information that you guys can keep with you going forward on what the underwriters like to see, what hurts deals, help deals, everything under the sun. So really, really excited about that. Talked to him this morning, and I know he's excited as well. So we used to have Wednesdays with Wade, so this is going to be kind of a bring back, if you will, when TV shows get brought back. Wade's going to be back in the spotlight. So really excited for that. That's starting next week. Monday, the 25th. So not next Monday, but the next Monday, as we all know, it's Memorial Day. Um, Celebrating those who laid their life down to protect the freedom of our country. So, a great day to reflect on that. But just a reminder for DAC purposes, the office, the funding office, and the banks are closed that day. However, applications and the DAC chatbot, which is in your back office, is 24/7. So don't refrain from having somebody apply, and you can always use the chatbot in your back office. But the banks and DAC offices are closed on Monday, the 25th. FIFA is coming, guys. We mentioned this before. Um, if you're not sure, I would say look up the cities, the major cities. There may be cities where FIFA is operating close to you and you don't know it. But if you are in those major cities, you should probably be seeing some flyers and some advertisements. So it's coming June 11th, which is early next month, guys. If you haven't already, in the resource center, we have our FIFA flyers. So just know that there's going to be a mass amount of business coming to these businesses in your town. They may need to ramp up to do so and haven't found a resource to get that working capital for that already. So keep that in mind. The May funding special, we're halfway through this month, guys. The home healthcare industry, I've said it before. Obviously take advantage of the funding special, but also do some research. There's a lot of different business types that fall into this home healthcare industry, right? It's not just home hospice care. There's transportation, assisted living, Medicaid, home care, you name it. So I would say Google, or even using ChatGPT or Cloud, just say, hey, you can even upload the flyer to it and just say, this is my company's funding special this month. Give me some information on different businesses that fall into this industry. And what would if I were to search on Google X businesses in my area, what would I search? And it'll break it down. I've done it myself. It's helped me a lot. There's 8 different type of Google searches that I'm doing right now, all falling under the same industry, but all pulling up different businesses. Than without me searching that specific type of business. So keep that in mind. That is for the May funding special, which can also be found in the dashboard of your back office. Additional LMS modules. We've mentioned this, time and time again. If you're newer with us, or you're a seasoned broker and haven't done the extra LMS modules, there's 3. So once you complete your certification, you unlock the pay plan short clips, the business funding, and the agency expansion training. Those are all in the DAC training and your LMS account there. So if you haven't already, you're going to want to make sure you do those 3. They're very important. Eventually, they're going to be included in our LMS. So just know it's going to be a requirement going forward, but it's very important you guys go through that, get those knocked out. If you are interested in being a local leader, we just had our meeting very recently for that, but that the instructions to be included in the local leader journey in the next meeting will be inside that agency expansion training. So if you're interested in that, like I said, make sure you do all the trainings, but it will be found in that agency expansion training in the LMS. Um, something that's really awesome. We've had some, talks about this before, but we're proud to announce that the MGA and SGA they receive emails when someone in your agency you get an email stating that someone in your agency enrolled a broker. So this is really cool for up team agency communication, reaching out, just being a support to those who are being added to your agency. You can also view in your back office if you go to my team on the left side of the page, my team to my enroller. You can see three things. One, your direct sponsor, your MGA, and your SGA. So I'll say that again. In your back office on the left side, you hit my team. That's the tab, my enroller, and then it shows you those three: your direct sponsor, MGA, and SGA. So this is awesome. If anyone, if you want to have that communication, that upwards communication, you can find it right there. Reach out, vice versa. So we've had some requests for this in the past. Just had to make sure some things were set up correctly, and we think this is going to be awesome for communication purposes. So take full advantage of that, guys. That is live as of now. The funding app walkthrough. This is really crucial. We've had in the past, brokers testing out the application, which it does create a lead the moment that an application is started, which creates confusion sometimes for our funding desk. We're working every package in real time. So if we see something coming in, we're going to work it to our best ability. But it does create a time waste if we have a large amount of packages coming in, people testing that app. So in the resource center at dacrc.com under the business funding tab. On the right side, you'll see it. I think it's 19 pages, or it's pretty lengthy. It's the whole funding app walkthrough from start to finish. Save that if you want to send it to a client. If you want to show a new broker, we just really encourage that you guys don't put in dummy applications into the funnel, because it is just bogging up some time for our funding desk. So that funding walkthrough is there. Use that to your advantage. Save that. Make sure you have that for any clients or brokers that you want to run through that. And that is it. That's all we have for the broker updates for you guys today. So a lot of some cool, really exciting new stuff, some reminders for you guys to keep close to you. But we are really excited with everything that's going on with DAC. We have our corporate calls every Friday, and we can tell that we're in that rocket phase where you're breaking through those upper layers, and you're getting to that point where it gets to a point where you can't stop that momentum. We've had that momentum for a while now, but we're feeling the simmer of all that you guys are doing with recruiting, with the packages coming in, the percentage of high quality packages. We're tracking everything, doing our best to support you guys to increase those numbers and improve those numbers. But at the end of the day, it does go through you guys. It starts with our DAC team. So hats off to you guys. Just know that there's a lot of new things coming. There's a lot of great things going on right now, and we're excited to be a part of every moment of it. So without further ado, I'll transition this over to you, David, and we'll continue this off.
Well said. And I love how you ended that. Thanks for all the announcements, first of all, and great ending on that. I couldn't agree more as we and echo what you're saying there. Team, you are as much as we meet regularly on what can we do with the funding packages, what percentage is this, what percent, how do we work better for renewals? We're always looking at fine tuning that, as well we should, right? It's part of the customer service process that we are to do. It's not about getting a funding, it's about serving a client, and that can become a long-term service, just like today's funding story that we did with Stephen Deal's client. That's because of a relationship with the client. They've gotten 3 fundings with us, right? Since 2022, and 2 since December, right? So good work, everybody. And all the traffic, though, that we do, we have one source of clients, and that is our broker channel. Me being a broker, you being a broker, our broker channels generate all of our referrals and clients, and that's you guys. So you're the front of the spear. Obviously, we had a lot of things to make it more efficient once you get someone started. But in the end, who is it that's bringing the client forward? It's you guys, and me included. I'm in the same place you are. McGuire is, Tyler, Sharon, Morgan, Wade. We all have that same opportunity you do, and all of us have gotten clients. So that's the good news is We all do it just like you do it, and we care about the clients the same way, and we see things that can be improved when we're dealing with a client. We bring it across the systems. So we're in it just like you are. And if you ever have ideas, if they would only do this or this, let us know. It may be an improvement we've not yet thought of, and we'll give it a test. Or it's something we've already done, and we'll see, yeah, we're not doing it, and this is why. Okay. So great updates. Today, I want you to think like a CEO. And I got two subject matters we're going to talk about today. One is thinking like a CEO, two is a little part-time plan, and three is leads. So it's really three things. All right. One, think like a CEO. What do I mean by that? Most companies who start most CEOs, they have a responsibility to turn their business into a cash cow, making a profit every year. I mean, it's why businesses start. And there's a second thing they do is they try to create high value. They want just like a homeowner, you want your home to be worth something when you sell it, right? If you own a home and it's your place of your residence, you want it to be worth more when you sell it. You'll take care of it. It's your domicile. It's where you live. But if you bought a home as an investment property, you think about it differently. You think about that home differently. Yesterday, I was golfing with someone who's got several investment properties, and he happened to say he's thinking about selling one. It's a 4-person apartment. He said, the reason I want to sell it is my wife drives by it every day, and she wants me to improve it because she thinks it's an eyesore for our town. Right. And she says, I drive by it every day and I know we own that and it can be improved. It can be updated. He's like, I don't want to update it. I don't want it. It's an investment property. It's a cash cow. It makes money. It's rented every year. It's rented perfect. Why would I put all new siding on it? Why would I put a new roof on it? It doesn't need it yet. It's not deteriorating. Yeah, it's not the prettiest place, but why spend $3,000 to paint it or re-side it when it's fully leased and it's an investment? CEOs think different than homeowners. Right? He's a CEO of that property. It's an investment property. Now, will he have to eventually update it or it'll stop renting? Yeah, but it hasn't stopped renting yet. See the difference? How do you look at your business? The CEO wants the business to be profitable, number one. And number two, they want it to be worth more upon exit if they ever sell. It's the valuation. If you buy a stock in the stock market, you're buying one share. Let's say it's $100 a share. That $100 is one something. If there's 60,000 shares, it's 160,000. If there's 100,000 shares, it's one piece of 100,000 piece pie, right? So if the company's worth more, that share becomes worth more. That $100 share becomes worth 105 or 110 or 120. So what CEOs' jobs are to do is make their companies more valuable. And how you do that is generally by making it more profitable. But there's a couple other things. So I've got a formula when I'm talking to businesses to help them grow their business. So write these things down. This is a formula for increasing your value upon exit. If you want to sell your business, you want it to be worth more. If you ever want to succeed yourself and retire and have someone else take over your business, you want it to be worth more. And there's a few things that make a business worth more. And if I'm going to go through these, then I'm going to say how this applies to you personally. First of all, you can use this when talking to businesses as ideas of what they can do. One of the things they look at is EBITDA. EBITDA, right? You can write it down how it sounds. EBITDA. It's just earnings before your interest, taxes, depreciation, amortization, other things. So just call it your net income that you make. Okay. It's more complex than that, but you take your income. That income helps determine the valuation of your business. And there's a formula. If it's above a certain amount, it's worth 1 times your annual profit. If it's above even more, it's 2 times your annual profit. If it's even higher, it's 3 times your annual profit, 4 times, 5 times your annual profit. So the more you're making, the more your multiple becomes. So it's not just an equal 1 times your profit. Well, that is if you're barely making money. But if you're making a lot of money, maybe 5 times, 10 times, et cetera, right? So first thing you look at is being profitable. If you're not profitable, your business isn't worth much. It's going to cost you money to keep it open. How can you sell something that costs you money to keep open, right? But as an example, 10 million and up, you're worth 6 times that 10 million. You're worth 60 million if you're making 10 million a year, as an example. But then there's things that add value and there's things that detract value. Let me give you an example. Let's say you got a business that you're looking at, a restaurant that you're working with. The restaurant owner's there every day, working 8 to faint, 7 days a week. They're working and they're making $1 million a year. But that owner's got to be there 7 days a week. Another business making $1 million a year, the owner never has to be there. It's running itself. Which one do you want to buy? The one that you got to work, or maybe you buy both, but which one is going to cost more? The one that's making $1 million a year, but has no work required of the new owner. It's already running itself through the management team, right? If you got to do all the work, then you're really buying an expensive job because you got to work, or you got to hire a manager to do all that work. It's not worth as much. So there's detractors from that multiple. So the first thing is it profitable? If so, you can sell it for a multiple of that profit times a certain amount. But there's value detractors and there's value adders. We serve the value adders, the things that grow a value, and we get rid of the value detractors, the things that take value away. Let me give you a list, a couple of value adders. All right. And these are ideas I always throw by business owners. So this is how you gear up your skill set in having conversations. You don't ever have to be a pro, but it's nice to have these. Here's just a short list I made. Your revenue growth percentage. If you're growing, if your revenue growth percentage is going up, your company's worth more. Your revenue retention. How much revenue do you do each year without having to get new customers? That's retention, like renewal, auto ship, memberships, subscriptions, people buying, if you market beverages and you sell direct to consumer, and when they buy it, you say, hey, would you like to subscribe to get that sent to you every month? What % are on the subscription? So those are revenue retention. With us, it's renewals. How many times do you get a client renew? About 40% of our revenue is renewals. That's worth a lot because we could stop getting a new customer tomorrow and still do 40% of our revenue next year with nothing new happening, right? So that's revenue retention. Your profit margin. What % of your sales is profit? So if you're a service company, you don't have a cost of goods like you're selling cookies. You got to make the cookie. It may cost you 30% of what the cookie costs just to make it. You only got 70%. If you got big payroll and all that, you may only be making 5% of that cookie price, where someone else may make 40% of their cookie price or their revenue. So profit margin on that. Okay. Another thing is the cost to acquire a customer. How much does it cost to get a new customer? That matters. If you can lower that cost, it's good. So those are all value adders. Those are adders. Okay. Retention rate is the biggest one. That's the easiest one for the average business to do, is increase their retention or the return revenue. So come up with ideas to help them get that. Okay. Second thing is detractors. This is the one that hurts most businesses we're dealing with and we can solve. Detractor number one, key man risk. Key man risk says if that woman or a man who started the business, if they were to die tomorrow, would the business sales go down? That's a key man risk. Do they have to be on site for the company to keep doing what it's doing? It's key man risk. If their expertise is required, key man risk. If they're the chef and they're cooking every day, they can't sell their business because the quality of the food might go down immediately. They could sell it, but it won't be worth as much because the buyer's got to go, I got to figure out how to get a chef as good as Chef Joe, who started the restaurant, right? So that's key man risk. Got to replace that with a manager. Got to learn how to replace yourself and keep doing the same sales. Key man risk. Second thing is key client risk. Do they only have one client? Why does one of my first clients was a trucking company, had a contract with BMW, man. What kind of contract is that? Isn't that awesome? Problem is, it's the only client they had. They got declined. They got declined because they only had one deposit a month. It was $100,000 a month they were doing, but it was one client. What happens if BMW shuts that contract down tomorrow? That guy's doing zero in revenue. That's called a key client risk. We look out for those things. Underwriters look out for those things, right? That's a risk. Another thing, single channel risks. Single channel is, okay, you're getting all your revenue from DoorDash. What happens if DoorDash comes out with a new law tomorrow, the government, that you got to pay all those DoorDash drivers W-2 wages, DoorDash closes? It's just like an example. Or we are all built through brokers. A risk we have is what happens if the government comes out and says we can't have independent brokers, right? Well, they're not going to do that, but they may say you can't charge a fee. They're already shutting companies down who do, right? So we're already doing certification, thinking ahead that one day we assume they're going to require certifications and licensing. We're already getting ahead of building the systems to lead that up and encourage they do it, frankly. Okay. So key channel risk. Like single channel risk might be you only do revenue on spring break if the weather's good. That's an issue. That's a single channel risk. Vacationers only. Okay. What happens if something happens and you can't get the travel? COVID happens, etc. Crazy. Market risk. You're in a certain market that can go up and down. So those are the key detractors. The biggest one being key man. Most businesses you're talking to, they've got key man risk. So when you talk to them about, hey, are you ever thinking about selling your business? Because valuation comes down to your profitability, number one, the likelihood your revenue will continue without you, number two, that's retention revenue. Number three, key man risk, the likelihood the revenue will continue without you being active. If you're not active, how much revenue will continue and what risk do you have? We got to solve for that now so your company's worth more. Because if the example is the value adders, if you've got revenue growth of a certain amount, you're worth 2 times what you were if not, because you're growing. You're not going down. Why do we look at their bank statements every month? And why do they get concerned if the sales are going down? It's a risk. That's why. Sales are going down. What if the sales are going up? Not a risk. That makes it half as likely they'll default. Half as likely they'll default if their sales are growing. Twice as likely they'll default if it's going down. You're an underwriter. What do? 50,000, 40,000, 30,000 were their months in a row. You go, uh-oh, we got an issue. There's a likelihood they're only going to be doing 20,000 2 months from now. We can only afford to fund them as if they're doing 15 to protect our risk. And all of a sudden, wait, why are you only giving me $15,000? I'm doing 30 because you went from 50 to 40 to 30, right? Common sense, right? So when you're talking to business owners, think like a CEO, and that is the value of their business is determined by their profitability and those value adders and those value detractors. Let's get rid of some of the detractors by getting rid of the key man risk. If you were to talk to the corporate team at DAC or the Bank Breezy team talking about the funding, you would know that I'm not needed or involved at all, nor is Wade needed at all in the funding side. If something happened to Wade or me tomorrow, we wouldn't skip a beat on the funding. On the DAC side, I'm less and less needed in the operational way because if something were to happen to me, DAC's got to keep flying, right? So you wouldn't have me spirit leading here once in a while. You'd have all my old videos to look at. But guess what? McGuire, Tyler, Sharon, the leaders in the field, you guys generate all the activity. I'm not influencing behind the scenes that much anymore. We've already built everything great. We're working on some things to improve. There'd be a fall off of David's not around promoting each week something new, but the reality is enough videos. I mean, I love Charlie Kirk. I watched him 3 hours in the last 2 weeks. He was assassinated. And I watched 3 hours of Charlie Kirk last week. I'm still learning from Charlie Kirk. Young man, they took his life. They didn't take his message. So we've already replaced Succession. Something happens to David. This ain't going away, right? Something happens to Wade or David. Bank Breezy's not going away. We've already got the teams and growing. We just hired 3 more people to support clients last week. So we're always growing and you don't need to worry about that. But if it wasn't thought through, you're in trouble. One of the biggest companies in the world, Herbalife, billion-dollar company. The founder died of a heart attack one day, young. Fortunately, he already had leaders in the field who knew how to keep the business going after he passed away. The field kept it going, and they're like 20 times bigger now than they were when he died. You don't have to worry about this going, but you got to think like a CEO. So help them grow their business by value adding and getting rid of the value detractors. They got to replace themselves. Here's one thing that you can teach someone. This is one little hack. How do you help them replace themselves? Number one, they list all the things they do every day. Number one. Number two, they decide who they're going to train how to do those things. They hire the person to train them. I don't have the money. We'll get you the money. I don't have the money. We'll get you the money. Don't you see that? Okay, so track what you do every day. I'm doing it in 15-minute increments. I go through this process every so often, and I pretty much replace everything I do. I pretty much have someone doing everything I do now who can do it without me, right? But 15-minute increments, write it down, say, okay, how can I delegate all this? I can delegate some of it right out of my current team, but who do I have to hire to do those things? And then what's it going to cost to hire them? Hire them, train them, stress test them, pressure test it, have them do it when you're not around. If you can go on vacation for a month and your sales don't dip, okay, they're ready. They got it. If not, you still got to train them, train them, train them. That is a simple way to replace yourself. And we can fund that. And if you replace someone, a manager, guess what you've done? You've made the business more efficient. And that manager will have ideas that owner doesn't have, and away you go. You may have to interview a few people. So that's a process, but that's an idea that we can help a restaurant who's only making $30,000 a year. They can replace themselves and still make $30,000 a year. Okay. So here's a simple process to do it. Now, what's their company worth if that manager's not needed, or if that owner's not there? You can always replace the manager. You got to make sure the process is in place, the systems are in place, and the people are trained. So that's a simple thing as an example. And by the way, we're going to be sending out things like this to the Bank Breezy client list in the near future. Hundreds of thousands of clients have applied. We're going to be educating them all every day. And the Bank Breezy platform is going to do so much more. I had a conversation yesterday with a guy by the name of Gino Wickman. He started a company called EOS. EOS is the industry leading entrepreneur operating system. He's got another one called The Leap for startup businesses. And we were talking about our systems and how we're going to educate business owners complementary to the business owner. So we're engaging and improving, but for your knowledge, it's a way you can level up. But that's all how you can help a client. What I want to tell, the reason I mentioned think like a CEO is for you in your business. What is your broker position worth right now? I know what DAC is worth right now, and it's not worth near what I think it's worth, right? Using the multiples we have. I wouldn't sell it. We didn't start it to sell it. But what could you sell your broker position for right now? I sold a broker position before. I've sold my broker positions before. What is yours worth? Well, this is what you got to look at. How profitable is it? Number one. Number two, how likely is it that profit will happen again next year if you stopped working today? The good news is you have an organization. If you have an organization, I can tell you right now, if I stop working today, what I'll make a week, what my broker position will earn each week, even if I stopped working today. What is that worth? That's worth a lot of money, because that's no key man risk. David doesn't have to be active. These clients are coming in with or without me, right? Do you have that yet? If not, think like a CEO, just like you'd advise that restaurant to replace yourself. You got to have an active team. If you have an active team, your broker positions could retire you. I've seen brokers sell their position for $3-4 million, not in DAC, but other companies. They build an agent position making $150,000-$200,000 a year with or without them. That's worth some money. What if it's making $30,000, $20,000, $10,000 a month with or without you? That's worth some money. And all of a sudden, that's a retirement. Boom. Or you just sit on the cash cow the same way the owner of that restaurant does. I'm making money every month no matter what. I don't have to sell it. Why not just sit on it? I don't need the retirement money. I got the capital coming in from my business. Or I'm going to sell it and get a big payday. Whatever you want to do, you can do with your business here. So think like a CEO. Number one, your profitability. You want to increase the profitability of your DAC brokerage. How do you do that? Climbing the personal customer. Goal one, climb the personal customer ladder. Get to the 80% level eventually. I don't care if it takes you 10 years. Get to the 80% level. That's goal number one. And you just climb the gear. There's 16 spots in there. Thank you, Harlequin. 16 gears between where you are as certified or as referral partner all the way up to national organization, NMO, National Marketing Organization. 16 steps in there. Climb them. Earn that new gear. Earn that new gear. Don't stop trying to earn a new gear. It gives you a raise on every funding in your future. Every funding in your team's agency's future, you get a raise on as you climb those gears. It's number one. Number two, start building the team immediately. As you start building the team immediately, that's like having recurring revenue immediately, an employee team that aren't employees. They're all independent business owners just like you. Some are not going to produce revenue. That's okay. They didn't lose any money. Some are going to not produce revenue, but recruit people who do. Perfect. Some are going to produce revenue and recruit people who do. Some are going to recruit, train, lead, and develop a national sales organization, and you can't stop them. That's a good thing. What if you had 5 organizations, 5 leaders, doesn't matter if you personally enrolled them, or 5 different groups that you started, where someone in there, you got someone making $50,000 a year. Are they going anywhere? No, they're making 50 grand a year with you part-time. What if they're making 100,000 full-time? They're not going anywhere. They're trying to get it to 200 and 300, and you override all of it. That's called business ownership. Think like a CEO. What's that worth? It's worth a lot as a cash cow. It's worth a lot more currently if you sell it. So that's got some valuation. So everything we do is teaching you how to benefit in your business, but you got to step into that role. If you're going, no, I'm just self-employed here and I want to make a commission now and then, that's minimal thinking. That's like you have a mountain bike, but you only ride on the little paths in your town that have no hills, and you don't need a 24 speed bike with the right gear shifting and the right derailleur and the right equipment, seat post and seat and shock absorbers. You don't need it's overkill, but you're not really taking advantage of the mountain bike you got. You're just using it to go to the local 7-Eleven, right? So you've got here a business that if you want to, it's got gears built into it. You can turn this into a multi-million-dollar business for yourself. Climb the personal customer ladder and build a team of active brokers producing active fundings. And by doing so, you've got a cash cow every day. Wade said it today. So I get checks every single week. Every week I'm getting checks. And guess what? He's full-time focused on corporate, part-time focused on being a broker. Same thing as me. Every day I get it. Every day I get a commission check. Every single day I get a bonus override. Now, I have the same pay plan you did that didn't just happen. I busted my butt to climb up to NMO, and I busted my butt to build a team. And I still recruit and I still get customers, right? I got a customer Mondays taking $250,000. They got approved 3 weeks ago. They didn't need it till 18th. They're taking it Monday. $250,000. That's a nice commission for me. But guess what? I'm more excited about what that $250,000 is doing for that business. Right? And it happens to be one of my personal clients, but what if it was a client in my team? It doesn't matter. It's my agency and your agency. If I'm in your team, it's my agency because I'm my own broker, but it's your agency because I'm an agency in your brokerage. Right. So if you build that out, you will have a business ownership. Until then, you're self-employed. Don't just use our mountain bike to go to 7-Eleven and back. Don't just make a couple of commissions. Man, kick off the benefit of this business and build a team. I don't want to build a team, Dave. That's okay. Then take our mountain bike to 7-Eleven and back and make a commission here and there. That's all right. We're okay if that's you. But I'm telling you, you're restricting your future. You're restricting your future. If I said to you today, I'll give you $100,000 to buy any stock you want, and here's the 5 stocks that are expected to grow most, why don't you buy 20,000 of each? You can do whatever you want with it, but I suggest you buy 20,000. I'm giving you the money, by the way, and here's the 5 that I think are going to go. And you decide, I'm not a big fan of stocks, so I'm just going to sit on the 100 grand. I'll just keep the 100 grand. And those stocks grow up fourfold. You could have turned that 100 into 3.2 million in 15 years had you just not sat on it. And the Bible talks about this. There's a parable about one who doubled the money that was given. Another one doubled the money was given. The third one sat on the money. So the landowner said, give me that 1 million back. And I'm going to give it to the other 2 who doubled what I gave them. Thank you. You're just not willing to do anything with it. You guys have an opportunity here to really, really grow your business. So that's how I see it. Of course, I'm more passionate. That's why I started the company. I shouldn't say I'm more passionate. I'm passionate. You may not be there yet. It's okay, but that's why I'm talking about this. I want you to see the value of DAC as a business owner would see it, as a CEO would see it. We've had people offer to buy our company already. They see the value in DAC, right? You know what the value is? You think it's our funding? I could recreate Bank Breezy in not the experts behind it, but the system in 4 days. It took us 10 years to learn it, but 4 days to build it. We could rebuild it all. What is the value of DAC? It's called thousands of brokers who are going to get it done, and an expert team in our relationships. Lenders want our relationship. We got direct lenders who want to use us to get them clients when they have to say no because they can't get agreements with our lenders. We've got a 10-year history of proving ourselves, integrity. So we've got relationship. You can't get a relationship with on-deck lending. We got lenders that say, I wish we could do on-deck lending. And we've got a relationship when not only do they want us, they're always seeing what we could do to improve, what they can do to improve. You've got so the value is our relationships, our expert team of handling clients, yes, and then the broker network. And it's growing by hundreds of people every month. And it's okay if only 10% are active. Don't you have the ability to build a broker network? Don't you have the ability to have a contract with on-deck lending through us? Yeah. Don't you have the ability to have the bank breezy funding expertise because of your contract with us? Yeah. What is it that you don't have? The expenses of DAC, the responsibility of DAC. You have the responsibility of marketing portion of DAC, but not the fixed cost or the fixed systems. So if I'm you, I'm saying, holy cow, DAC is like my supplier. If I was a coffee company, it'd be like, they're the plantation making the coffee. I'm going to go sell the coffee under my label as many places as I can. I don't have to worry about growing the coffee. If you were a juice company, you'd say they're at the bottling plant and they grow all natural ingredients and they know how to bottle and cap and label this juice. And all I got to do is find people that want to sell my juice and they're going to handle it all for me, including funding it. All I got to do is get customer and I get paid when I get a customer and I own it. That's the opportunity you have here. So I hope you can think like a CEO, and this may trigger in you something that says this. Okay, I may not take a company public. I may not want the responsibility and risk of taking a company public, but I can become wealthy with this company. I can literally build a company that, hey, using the multiples and the detractors and attractors, if it's generating $250,000 or $500,000 a year in profit, and it has value attractor of no key man risk, no key client risk. You got renewal revenue that increases the value. It's growing, that increases the revenue. Man, I might be able to get 5 or 6 times my current income a year up front, or just sit on the income every year and never sell because it's growing. You have those options. So I can't encourage you enough. I didn't have a retirement account at General Motors because I left early. I spent everything I had in my business. I didn't save for retirement. I was a young man who had plenty of time. My retirement was my successful business. So launch a business, grow it. Launch a business, grow it. Launch a business, grow it. Right? That was my retirement. And so I kick off my DAC commissions now. All gets invested. It all gets invested. I don't live on that money. But one time I had to live on my income. Now I don't have to. It's okay if it takes you some time to do this, but use the same system. Build this. And if one day you want to have a $3 million exit, if your business is making $400,000 or $500,000 a year and it's growing and you have teams of people that you can't get rid of, you have no key man risk, you can actually go away and you'll still do that $400,000 or $500,000 a month. Well, why would you want to sell first of all? But you could if you wanted. I could sell my DAC brokerage. Any one of you would pay a lot of money for it if you had it. I wouldn't have to sell DAC. I could just sell my position in DAC. You know what that's worth? You know what it makes? A multiple of what I make. And I could still be the CEO of the company and just sell my position. You guys would collectively get together, or one of you's got the money, go, I'll pay you that for it because it's making this much every year, kicking off every year, no matter what. Why wouldn't we? Why not build the same flipping thing I built? without having to build the corporation part. Think like a CEO and build a sales organization and go kick butt. If you're playing with this part-time and you got 5 other things you're trying to do part-time, if none of them has that upside that we're talking about, where you can have a cash cow like this, stop investing your time there and invest your time in this business, in this stock called your own business, called your DAC brokerage. Invest your time on that and grow this baby. I want you to know we're talking about SBA loans. Why? Diversification. We're always exploring things to be better at funding so that we don't have key market risk. We're not ignorant to the fact that we got to protect something happens to me tomorrow. You got to know this business. We've already had the conversations. I've already talked to the internal team. If I were to die tomorrow, how are you handling this? We ain't going anywhere. You just watch a lot of videos, but the team's ready to roll. Dexter, do you still know how to do this business if something happens to me tomorrow? You bet you do. Harlequin knows the inside and out. Harlequin could join our support team tomorrow and you wouldn't skip a beat. She knows every inch of that, policies and procedures and documents on demand and all that. Well, I guess those aren't documents on demand anymore, but our team does not rely on me. Our team relies on me for guidance once in a while, but they run this themselves, right? McGuire doesn't need me to talk to him. McGuire and I probably talk about his growth ideas and things to do once a week, twice a week. We're not every day saying, McGuire, you got to do this, that, and the other. He's growing on his own because we all have different ways of skinning the cat. He knows what I stand for. He's heard it over and over and over again. So now I'm not going anywhere. I want you to know I'm doing this. Foreseeable unless God tells me to change and do something else. I'm healthy. I'm getting healthier. I love the company. I love the business. I'm only saying if you think like a CEO, you got to be replaceable too. You need to get your business built where it doesn't need you anymore. If Dexter decided he wants to go to Chile for 6 months, if his business is going to go down, he's not duplicated yet. You need a team of people that's growing with or without you. Then you're duplicated. Then you got a business that's high value and you can literally start to skate a little bit. But until you've got to the 80% level, and until you've got a team producing a check for you every day, or at least 3 times a week, you're not there yet. And why stop until you're there? You're not a master's degree until you've got your associates, then bachelors and masters. And until you do, you keep going. You don't go, oh, it took me 8 years. Shut up and spend the 8 years, right? No doctor, oh, it's going to take me 8 years to be a doctor. Maybe you should not be a doctor then if you're going to gripe about how long you got to go to school. Well, I don't want David. I got to get so many clients to get NMO. This is not for you. That's all you got to do to become NMO and get 80% of the revenue is that. You don't have to have fixed costs. You don't have to build employee teams. You don't have to do daily corporate calls or meetings or trainings or any of that. You just got to go get the clients and build a team of other motivated people who want to get clients. That's it. Love on people, duplicate the training process. It ain't easy. I know I've built, I can relate. 100% of my income comes from our pay plan, not a salary. So I get it. DAC doesn't pay me a paycheck except one that's paid from the pay plan. I get it. So I relate with you and what you got to go do to build it. I get it. And I also love it because when you do it, you get the same freedom. And some of you are, some of you have. So I want you to think like a CEO. I want you to believe like a CEO because you are a CEO. You're CEO of Lisa Heron Business. You're CEO of Dexter Business. You're CEO of Harlequin Business, Don Business, Jose Business, Marcy Business, Tom Business, Jim Business, right? It's your company. I don't care if you got an LLC or not. You're paid the same way, and it's a CEO business. Think like one. Replace yourself by duplicating a big group. You don't ever have to go away, but you need to be able to go away without your income dropping, or you still got work to do. You still got some gearing up to do. Okay? And so I still am not where I feel we need to be. But if something were to happen to me, we're not going to skip a beat. Our sales will keep going the same or better, right? So I'm not concerned about that for your protection and your future. But I am concerned for some of you. If you decide to stop, will your business keep growing or is it still highly dependent on you? And that's what tells you when you need to recruit a better team, when you need to recruit more committed people, when you need to prescribe the right medication. The local leader stuff is coming soon. where you can diagnose and prescribe, right? A level up, we're talking about level up stuff. It's never required, but it's always requested. All right. Don't count your team out, but don't count on them if they're not active. You need to build the right team. I talked to a consultant last week because we shared traffic with each other. And I asked him a couple questions. And he asked me a question in return. He said, how many local leaders do you have that are actually doing your local leader plan? I said, I don't have a specific number right now. He goes, well, there's an issue for you, because aren't you saying your local leaders are the ones who really are making the most impact? Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we got some referral partners who aren't even engaged with us, and they just get a few clients a year, but they're not going to lead to 1,000 brokers in their team who get a few hundred clients a month. So local leaders are okay. So how are you tracking your local leaders? As well, we've got a lead list and we see who's opens it. And we watch what they're doing. But so that's an area that I'm going to improve on, right? Is how we diagnose on our own who the local leaders are and what prescriptions we have for them. And for those who say they want to be, but aren't living it out yet, that's an area we can grow. So thinking like a CEO, what does that do? That's called retention, right? That's called growth. Managing a business makes you nothing. Managing a business does not increase a dime for anybody. It just maintains. And usually maintenance means I'm going backwards, not up. You're either growing or slowing. I've never seen a business stay flat long term. Flat is usually going backwards because the cost of doing business is going up. If your revenue is not going up, you're not staying with inflation. If you do 2 million this year and 2 million next year, you're down, because 2 million last year is about 2.6 or 3%, 3% more is another, it's like 2,060,000. So you just went backwards just because of inflation. So we need to be increasing our growth, and you should be too. And I will just tell you, as an entrepreneur who's always made his living from pay plans since I left General Motors and left that salary job, I will tell you this. I know it can be a pressure. I know there can be pressure. And I don't like applying pressure to anybody. That's why I encourage you, keep a job that pays you full time, and you build this part time until it is producing regularly on a monthly basis, which you're making full time. And if you're not, you're being irresponsible. You're being irresponsible to your family, to your credit, to your future, to your mental health, because that'll start to feel like pressure. And I don't care if that means you go get a job waiting tables part-time, and you're making $100 a day in tips while you're doing this. That's full-time, even 3-4 days a week to keep your bills paid. Or I know people who drive DoorDash and they make or Uber, and they do, $1,500 a week, and it costs them $400 to do it. So they make $800 a week, and they work DAC in between rides. And it's admirable and it's okay, but don't allow the pressure to go away. You don't want the pressure to be deafening where you can't do it, but you also don't want to be so content with not building this that a year or 2, 3 years goes by and you haven't focused on your growth. Every Friday we have a call and we focus on growth. And I'm always saying but if we didn't grow this week, what do we got to do? We didn't grow last quarter. What is it that we got to do to increase growth? And hopefully you're thinking like a CEO and doing the same thing. All right. I will tell you this. It always comes down to the quality of your team. Always, 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 always. When Dexter joined our business, we know that's a certain number of clients per year because of his quality and his commitment. And I can say that for hundreds of people. He's just having on my screen right now. So Dexter, you're getting a lot of love because I see you smiling right there, right? And that's the same for many of you. Just by you joining, we know because your quality. Well, guess what? What if you recruited 10 Dexters? I didn't recruit Dexter, but he's in our team. Harlequin, I didn't know. She's in our team. Harlequin has invested thousands of hours into DAC. Thousands. Paid on commission only. You will eventually have, and we don't take that for granted. I am Harlequin as well. I'm investing thousands on commission only. So I don't take her for granted because that'd be taking myself for granted. And you should never take anyone in your organization for granted either, because they're working for free as well. They're working on performance only as well. And ride this mountain bike. This baby's got 24 gears. It can climb any hill. It can get you over any pass. It's got the right shift on your butt so you don't I'm not shift springs so you don't hurt when you go over a bump. It's got the right gear shift on your thumbs so its appendages are perfect. But you got to ride it that way. You got to put it, you got to test it, and you got to think about it every day and challenge yourself to make it happen. So I've talked a lot. I'm not going to go through the part-timers plan. It's an old recording. You can go listen to that on Zoom. I had the same slides I was going to go through, but this one extended. So I'm going to end with this. If you think like a CEO and you help business owners you're working with think like a CEO, can they replace themselves? How likely is the revenue you consider? Will the business do that kind of revenue if they're not working it? If not, they got to replace themselves with a manager for lifestyle and valuation and cash flow. And any detractors like key man risk, sales declining, we got to solve that stuff. You got to solve that stuff. Forget whether they're trying to sell or not. If your business isn't sellable, you got to fix it. Because if it's not sellable, there's no value to it. You're losing money working it. So you want to get it where you're 6 out of 10 are breaking even or losing money. It's worth nothing. They're better off having a job. Even if they love what they do, they're better off having a job financially. They're losing money. It's costing them money to work. So we got to solve that for them and you as well. Build a team that generates revenue with or without you. And you've got a business you own. Just like that restaurant manager needs to be able to generate revenue with or without that restaurant owner working. See the difference? How much revenue does your DAC group generate if you don't generate any? If it's zero, you need a better team. Not better people, better producing. I own an ice cream shop. It does revenue with or without me. If I own an ice cream shop, I only make money if I'm there scooping. I got to fix that. You got to fix your business if it only generates revenue on you. You should always be producing revenue, but you need it to be where even if you took a year off, sales keep growing. That's when you've got a duplicated group. And that's what we all should be striving for. And that's what our whole focus is helping you make happen. Be a part of the local leadership group. You're going to see us talking about that over and over and over for them, more and more and more and more and more. Go through the certification, go through the funding training, go through the agency expansion training. They all will be one certification in the future. They're not yet. That doesn't mean you should wait. Watch all of them. And in the last one, it'll say subscribe to the local agency. Here's the greatest news of all, and I'll end with this. Our local leadership list has gone down since we did our video. People unvolunteered. It's exactly what we want to find out, who's in it and who's not. It's a prescription. It takes some work to be a local leader, right? And if someone doesn't want to be, they should unsubscribe from that list. After we did that last video last week, 2:30 last week, we had several people say, yeah, I can't do that. I'd rather just be a broker and a team builder who refers people, but I can't take on that role. Hey, Wade, you got a comment? Because I see your video on. I can't see who's got hands up. He does. Cool. Wade, what do you got, buddy?
Hey, yeah, man. Couple things. I was kind of tied up earlier, but I got on before you began speaking. And I want to just say a couple things, not to impress anyone, but more to impress upon them some information. I mean, I'm getting a check now in my organization between 2 and 5 every week. I'm getting paid 2 to 5 times a week on my DAC position. I've been slack on building because I've been really busy, but I'm looking and I got a comma in my check, the monthly check for 5 levels. And I'm saying, and my wife and I talking and saying, whoa, we really gotta work. We gotta do some things we haven't been doing. And I do want everybody to understand you're talking about replacing. I've actually literally replaced myself. My position now, when brokers contact me and say, can you look at what about this file? I don't work files. That's not what I do now. I manage expectations. I manage what brokers expect from us. I manage the people that are supposed to be doing that expectation of and getting the results. The workflow that I have now is about the inside team. I manage Are you doing the workflow that you need to do? What about the budget of Bank Breezy? Are we doing that? And then right now we're in the process of replacing Brad as well. So it's and when I say that, I don't mean going anywhere. It just means that I got people. A lot of folks don't like to recruit people that are as good as they are on their team. I got to tell you, there's at least two that are on our team, at least two, and those two, yeah, I'd say at least two. They're better than me. I mean, or at least they're just as good as me in presenting offers and getting results. And you guys have spoken to you've seen Matt on here, but he's not the only one. And now we got another set of three team members, and I'm going through their expectations on Monday of stall leads, of all these other different things. So when you're saying it's in good hands, it's in a more secure place than I have seen it in the 9 years. Wow, I can't believe we've been here that long. And I don't know if McGuire said anything or you did. I know you did, but about the thrills and kills segment I'm going to do. Did y'all talk about that?
We did every Tuesday. They were thrilled to hear it.
Now, I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
And I promise you won't be bored, but we should have 500 people on that because they certainly need to hear some of the things the questions that are being asked, and they need to hear what's happening. And I'm going to I don't care what your question is. I won't say that I have 100% of the answers, but I know where to get 100% of the answers, and I'm excited about that. So I'll be quiet now. But I just had to say, I mean, when we got paid, I mean, we got a comma, Joyce and I do, in a 5-level plan. I mean, if I can just get that to 10, 15,000 a month, all the rest of the stuff will take care of itself.
Yes, absolutely. Hey, thanks for commenting, bud. And today is payday for the month. And by the way, guys, what he just said, when he said there should be 500 people, if you think about this for a minute, we do not have to know what he knows about the thrills and kills. We just have to get our entire team to hear it. We are tour guides. We're promoters. We're leaders. Leadership is moving people without touching them physically. That's leadership. How do you encourage someone to be on Wade's meeting on Tuesday? How do you encourage them to be on Matt DeHame's Monday? How do you encourage them to be on McGuire's Thursday? On today's Friday, we got less than 100 people here. This is $1 million business for people who build it, literally, but it's not for most people. And they're not scheduling to be here because they don't look at this business as their exit strategy. They don't look at this as the retirement. Wade does. Why did Wade replace himself on the back end? Why did he train it up? So that he can focus on DAC field more. We strategized about this last fall. And we talked about how by the first of the year, he wanted to have himself replaced where they were people, he had to train them up, skill them up, see them up, and then he could not be doing it. He hasn't, my last 5 or 6 clients, Wade's not been the one to produce them or present to them. Matt has, or Steve has. Brad just starting this week is doubling. We got another Brad, helping Brad to do his part so that we can scale growth more and more and more. And all I can say is Nick DeHame doing his thing, you should be there on it. At least watch it in recording. But I can't express enough that I wouldn't be where I am without listening to mentors. I listened to people who had done it before me, and man, no one took more notes than me. Promised you. If you're not taking notes during these calls, man, it's a resource. Unfortunately, in today's day and age, everything's videotaped and put up on the web, so nobody has to take notes anymore, but nobody watches the video anyway. And if you do, you don't take notes on it. It's an unfortunate skill. I learned it at business school. You better take notes or you're losing in the competitive game of being graded on a curve. And I'd get my butt beat if I wasn't retaining 50% of what I heard. And you ain't retaining 50% if you're not taking notes. You're getting about 10. You may get it today, but you'll forget it tomorrow. It's fact. It's been proven by every expert. So take notes on everything you hear, every huddle you're at, take notes, read them, resonate on them. I literally could pick this up, walk in my next room and pull out my book called Foundation Training from 1991. The notes are still in it. I still look at them. 1991. And that's why I made $250,000 my first year in this industry and got out of General Motors. That's why I've never made under that, because I take it like a flipping serious business, and you're not going to beat me is my mentality. You're all part of my team now. So I want to help you win, but the industry isn't going to beat me. I don't mean competitors. I mean, success is not going to beat me. I'm going to make it. How driven and hungry are you to retain this stuff, man? Take notes, implement the notes, do what the notes say, take advantage of your place, and you will win. If we're not the right fit, find something that is and build it with that type of tenacity, and you will kick butt. You will kick butt. You will, but you got to have that tenacity. And I won't put this before God. I won't put this before my family. I did that. Won't ever do that again. And you don't have to. In fact, it's easier if you don't. God first, family second, business third, but don't coast. Don't make mistakes in your business. Don't play it like a weenie. Kick some butt, do it the right way. Put your hands to the plow and clear the field. Get the rocks out of the garden. Plant the right seeds. You need to have a plow in your hands. You need to be pushing. And if you're not, I feel like doing it tomorrow. I feel like doing it tomorrow. If you've been saying that for 3 months, that's why I'm overweight, because I act that way with my health. And that's why I'm changing that, or have changed it. How are you? We don't get to succeed in everything in our life. And we already know what it takes to make it. And if you're in great shape, but your finances aren't, step up in your finances. Quit being great on the bench press and great on the this and that. Do it on your finances too. Just like someone needs it, David, that's enough of that taking high blood pressure medication. You can get off of it, take care of yourself, and you'll be off that medication. I'll probably be off in 2 weeks because I've already done this multiple times. So you can too. I can too. I'm holding myself accountable publicly. And one day I won't have to say it anymore. I'll have victory over it. One day you won't have to talk about your finances anymore. You'll have victory over it. We got a solution. Make it happen. A couple more hands are up. We'll take your comments or questions and we'll roll.
Sir, we have Carmen. Go ahead, Carmen.
Thank you, David, for making it more relatable to me. Today, I got everything you said, and I wrote lots of notes, and I thank you. Have a great weekend. I love you. God bless you.
Carmen, God bless you. Thank you so much. You're always so encouraging. You think that nobody needs to hear encouragement. By the way, some of your top producers need to be told thank you once in a while, because it's lonely being a top producer, because you're just got to motivate yourself at all times, because if someone needs to be motivated, they're not a top producer. But top producers are only Nick DeHames doing this with or without encouragement. So you once in a while say, Nick, good job, buddy. That's all simple. Speaking of Nick, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, David. My goodness. This is a call that everyone needs to receive, those that were not able to be on here live, right? The CEO mindset and perspective, CEO of our own lives, but we are the CEO of our DAC business. And first off, I want to start. I have a few new brokers, but seasoned brokers that have been on here also: Elizabeth, Wendy, Britt, Panani, Teresa, Danny, Patty. Just welcome. I'm glad you guys are on today and we're able to listen to all of this because it was powerful. I was touched. You know, it's there's a quote connected to what you're talking about today, David, which I shared on one of my huddles a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, but is most people overestimate what can be done in 1 year and underestimate what can be done in 10 years, right? And with today's technology and social media and outreach and all that we have, that can be slightly less, but that urgency of doing what David teaches and has proven and showed us all, right? 10-year anniversary last year, DAC, David Allen Capital. And there he is sharing exactly the fruits of his, what he's dedicated and has done building DAC, just like we're all building DAC. He's building DAC just like we all can, right? And our brokerage. And it's simply, it's simple activity, constant communication with businesses and constant communication with potential brokers, and then maintaining communication with your team. And that cycle, right? Doing it, that, and I've just, I've been, I continue to learn. I feel as if I have so much more to continue to learn and grow. And, like David said, he wouldn't be where he is if he didn't have mentors. And David is a mentor that is showing us all what can be done. And if we follow the plan as we're all doing, and many are, I just can't wait to see where this takes us all personally in just the next couple of years and 10 years from now, 15 years from now, right? I know David has built this to be a legacy business for us all. So there you go, guys. I just wanted to share that. I'm excited. Thank you, David, for everything for this call. And let's get after it, guys.
Amen. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate everything you do, my friend. Appreciate everything. And by the way, when Nick says I had mentors, and I say that, my mentors never knew me personally. I went to their trainings. I paid to sit in audience. I didn't meet them personally until I already quit General Motors and was already having success, because then I earned a spot at the table. We didn't have daily Zooms. We had trainings in San Diego, got to drive there, got to fly there. Got a training in Boston, got to drive there, got to fly there. Got a training in Chicago, got to drive there, got to fly there. Got a training in Cleveland, got to drive there and fly there. Got a training in Dallas, got to drive there and fly there. What's it cost? Got an Amex card. I don't know what it's cost. It costs $300 plus the flight plus the hotel. 7 of us in one hotel room, hanging on the floor, sleeping on the floor. Brings whatever it takes. Owner. Good job, Dave. Didn't hear that ever from my owner. Didn't have an owner. I had him as a mentor from the front of the room, just like we're talking here, but it was at a hotel room, paying a lot of money to learn. And I would do it again because it worked. You can gain a lot, but I trusted what I heard and I applied what he said, and it works. Everything you're hearing works. Trust what you're hearing. Thomas in the Bible didn't believe Jesus had risen. I see 2 more hands up. Thomas in the Bible didn't believe Jesus had risen. And not because he is skeptical. They say doubting Thomas. Hey, most people doubt. Most people trust but verify. Most people would say, let me see. I got to see him. Is he really here? Let me see. Because no one knew he was going to rise. The people didn't understand what he was saying, where we'll build this temple in 3 days. So it surprised everyone. Half of them went back to fishing already. 3 days later, they're already fishing. 5 days later, they're already back on their fishing boats fishing. Traveling with him for 3 years, discipling people, hearing about Jesus. Then he dies, he's crucified, and they'll go back to fishing until he shows up to them. Guys. Then they realize, oh, that's what you meant. Then you'd come back. So Thomas said, let me see the hands. Let me see the hands that took the nails for me. And sees it. All of a sudden he believes, and now he's willing to die for Jesus, right? Well, some people, it's in our nature to, I gotta learn if this Rutz guy or this McGuire guy or this Nick guy, are they really, do they believe what they say? Are they doing what they say? Because a lot of people will say whatever it takes because they're selling programs and they need to have content that moves people, content that makes you want to come back again and pay another $1,900 for the next training or whatever. Hey, I did it. I spent over $100,000 in 2 years on trainings as a 23-year-old. I was spending almost everything I made on trainings. Everything I made. The only reason I knew that is the company, FTC, went after the company I was a rep in and shut them down. And I was sitting there with 3 offices going, oh my gosh, the company I represent got shut down for violating things. I didn't know it. Fortunately, I had already left. I went to somewhere else because we didn't like certain things. But the point is, they asked me, they called me. They literally called me. And they wanted to know what I spent on my offices, what I spent on trainings, what I spent on. And I had to put it all together because they wanted to try to get me money back. I didn't call them. The FTC called me about the company I was in saying, you've spent a lot of money. We want to know what you've spent. And I did my math. It was over $138,000 just on office leases in 3 years. I was 25 years old. It's been $138,000 on office leases. And then all the trainings was 70 or 80,000. So that's what I spent to follow someone to learn how. And I don't, like I said, I would do it again. So if you feel you need to trust us before you can follow what we do, I get it. But I would hope you would trust the fact that we have nothing to gain unless you win. We don't make a dime until you make a dollar. And if we're just making you feel good, you think I'm on here just to talk because I like having an audience? There's 80 people here. We all got better things to do, right? I'm sharing something because I want one of you or 2 of you or all 80 who are here or the 300 who watch it and recording to go, I'm going to think like a CEO and change my life and go turn this into a multi-million-dollar business for yourself, or at least a full-time business for yourself, right? That'd be pretty cool too, wouldn't it? All right, let's go to the last couple of hands. I'll try to reduce my conversations to a lot shorter time.
All right, we got 3 left. We'll go to Precious and then Jose. Go ahead, Precious.
Just want to come on and say happy Friday. I want to say thank you, David. Thank God for you. This opportunity is exactly what a lot of people need. I have I'm creating a legacy book. So having a legacy business, when you just said that, I just appreciate it. I just want to say thank you. I thank God for you. And I thank all the DAC brokers and all the quarterbacks, everybody that make DAC what it is, because it's life-changing. For me, I see it for other people, but just being able to come here and learn how to present
Yes.
this and position businesses is priceless. So I just want to thank you again, and just have a good Friday, everyone. And
Thank you, Precious.
This is my business for life.
Yeah.
I just
Well, go get it, Precious. Go get it. Keep on pressing.
Yes.
And you know what, folks? It's not always going to come fast for everybody. It doesn't have to. Just keep pressing business forward. Eventually, you'll have the results. Just keep pressing, keep pressing. Good job. Jose, what do you got for us today, Jose?
Send one more to you, Jose. Should I have you unmute there? All
Can
right.
you hear me now?
There
Can
we
you
go.
hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. For the life of me, I cannot find the definition of a negative bank day. Can you explain that to me, please?
A negative bank day?
Yes.
A negative bank day is exactly what it sounds like. What does it sound like to you? What do you think a negative bank day is?
Nothing in the bank.
Yep. That's it. Below zero.
So that is going to be on their bank statement, like
Yeah.
under daily balance, perhaps.
No, let's on their daily balance. Yeah. So you know how you see a bank transcript and you see all the transactions?
Yes.
Let's say they had $1,100 in their bank and they wrote a check for $1,400 and the bank let it go through. What's their bank balance now? Minus 300.
Right. Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so,
okay,
and Wade will be talking about, these are one of the things that kills the deal versus thrills the deal. You could have the negative bank days matters more than the NSFs. This is why. You could have 4 NSFs one day, but only one day be below zero. So it's one negative bank day, even though you had 4 NSFs, because they all came in the same day, as an example. So they look at negative bank days more than they look at number of NSFs. Usually they're the same, unless they had a bunch of checks come in at one time and they went negative one time and then they went back up. You go, okay, it's only one negative bank day. Because if you think about it from an underwriter's point of view, if you're the bank, you're the lender, you get paid a percent, you get a dollar payment you take out every week or every day from their bank. If they're below zero a lot, how do you take that payment? If they're below zero at all, how do you take that payment? So negative days are killers. Negative days are killers. And growing revenue is thrillers. So Wade will be giving a lot of thrillers and a lot of killers in his huddles, and he's going to keep them to the 10 minutes too. So 10, 14 minutes, whatever ends up being, but he's trying to keep it under 10 as well, with a funding story, with the 6 beliefs at the very beginning. So he's going to have a 3 or 4 minute thriller or killer every day, and then take questions. So I don't like the word killer, but it kills the deal. So maybe we'll come up with a different name. Chill, maybe a thriller and a chiller. What chills the deal and what thrills the deal? Maybe we'll do that. I like that better. Thriller and chiller. We just thought of doing it this morning. So give us a little time. By next Tuesday, we'll have it dialed in.
Thank you very much.
Right.
Great explanation, and appreciate you.
You bet.
Appreciate you, Jose. Well, and with you, Dexter, go ahead, my friend.
All right. Is this thing on?
No, it's
That's
off.
all I want to know. It's not. If you can't hear me, I'm sorry. Turn up your hearing aid or something. Okay,
Totally
I'm gonna
off.
make this quick because David, I'm gonna make this really, really quick. Thank you, everybody. And David, you hit at a high level today. You certainly, when you start talking about CEO stuff and EBITDA and key man insurance, especially the key man insurance, you took me back to my life insurance days. And if people don't know what a key man is, I don't think you should let that go over your head. I think you should just find out what the definition of a key man insurance, what a key man is, and that a corporation or a company will take out a life insurance policy on a key man because he's key, and would add that man's wife as beneficiary for that key man to sign that policy, because that life insurance is worth so much money. When he passes that, the company can actually replace that guy with the benefits from that life insurance policy. That's how important a key man is to a company. And I won't try to encapsulate everything that you said, David, but I was pinging at you up here at that level, and you were just ringing my past corporate days. And I want to thank you for that. And I want to end with just this. Look up key man and just key man. It's important. EBITDA. Whoo, David, you were out there today, bro. You were out there with the EBITDA. Earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization measures a company's operating profit before financing costs, tax obligations, non-cash accounting charges, reduce the bottom line. How many CEOs in a company will even take 15 minutes to talk to you about EBITDA or key man? The value of DAC to us or to me is very, very high. It's just why be skeptical when you're not being charged a dime to get this knowledge? What are you skeptical for? Why can't you see this engine? I'm gonna leave it with this. And I just have to say this. To not believe in the DA system is like believing that a bike can pedal without a chain, that a car could run without a motor, that a plane could fly without wings, that a house can stand without a foundation, and that a broker can excel to his highest heights without a team. You have to believe, especially when it's not costing you a dime. This is $1 billion operation because no one's holding you back. You're only as good as the effort you put into it. And don't blame anyone if you don't succeed. Put your head down, get to work to the best of your capacity. The results are what you earn. That's it.
Amen. Amen, brother. Hey, listen, let me end with this. The good news is my key man policy, DAC gets if something happens to me, DAC gets a big check to hire people, replacements, all that. So the key man doesn't go to Marlowe. The key man goes to DAC. DAC takes care of DAC, right? So that's key man insurance. But the better part is not even need a key man. How about have a key team? And the key team is always replaceable. There's always systems are in place, standard operating procedures in place. So those are the type of educations we're bringing to Bank Breezy clients starting very soon. We're going to be teaching them how to raise their value of their company, raise their value of their lifestyle, raise the income they earn, raise their profitability without having to borrow money. My goal is this. Let's educate them so much they don't need us. And guess what they'll do? Use us over and over and over again, because there's always leverage ideas to invest into. There's always things to grow your business. So thank you for all the kind words there. And if you didn't hear the beginning, go back and watch all the things that drive a company's value, all the things that